are Earth's greatest hope. Look around. A gathering of noble guardians new and old.
Okay, listen up. You're a bunch of dirty misfits, but you're all that's left, so you'll have to do.
Our home was attacked. I was there and fought against the endless onslaught.
They kept coming, so I kept firing. Not gonna lie, I was magnificent.
Despite the sacrifice of many brave guardians, we lost everything. The tower, the city, our home.
So, everything is gone. Your stuff, my stuff, most importantly, my stuff.
Today we know our enemy. His name is
Gary! Or Gil. Glenn? Is it? I don't know. It's something with a G!
Gaul. I know you look to me in times of peril, but this is not my battle alone.
Which means if I don't see you out there, I'll kill you myself.
It is time to avenge this injustice, for that is the duty of all guardians.
Worst case scenario, you die. But who knows? Maybe you won't.
So I ask you, who will stand with me?
Yeah! Really, guys?
That was inspiring.
Also, there will be a ton of loot! Yeah, right? That's what I thought.
Pre-ordering.
All aboard!
All aboard the hype train, Destiny 2. Whoop whoop!
Woo.
I didn't say cheers to it, Justin. Damn. I thought you said you were getting a water. Now you have a beer.
No, I made an audible. I was like, wait a minute, I still have one of these? Fuck it.
Is that your
Last time I did one of these, I got drunk, so fuck it. Not doing
Pretty
it
sure
this
your wife's not gonna like that.
No.
Well, welcome everybody to our SPR presents the MIDA Multicast, episode 1. I guess we'll call it episode 1.
One. Sure.
Uno, this is going to be Brandon's drinking out of a mason jar. This is going to be the first episode. Basically, for anybody who knows what MIDA Multicast is, before Justin and I used to do a Destiny-themed podcast called MIDA Multicast. Kind of fizzled out because content.
Yeah, well, basically we started it like after like in a very dead zone because I think we were just bored playing Destiny at that point for a little
Sounds
bit,
about
and
right.
then I think we were like, well, that'll be easy, and then it was wildly successful. There was about, I don't know, 6 listeners at one point maybe, and 2 of them were us, but oh well.
And the other 2 are our wives, so we
I
had
don't
2
know,
other
did your wife
people.
even listen to it?
No, she didn't. She definitely did not.
She listened to it on mute.
That's probably true, actually. We also are welcoming another guest that we've had before, Branden.
Hello.
Is going to be joining us. He is going to be joining us for the MIDA Multicast. Maybe we'll have him on some other shows, in the future. Who
He's
knows?
also part of the Hunter Master Race, so
Yep, absolutely.
True. Pieces of shit. Warlock Master Race. Warlock. Wu-Tang. Warlock. Actually, that W for Warlock. Mixed into there, the
You're like,
Phoenix symbol.
Warlocks.
Yeah.
Man, my
Don't
battery's
breathe
dying. I
on
probably
water.
should grab the charger.
We're
I might have to take a quick break actually, and you guys can start it off. Here, let's start off with this. So we just played the intro trailer for you guys for Destiny 2 that released, I don't know, in March, Justin, something like that.
That sounds right. It was like end of
Yeah.
March.
Yeah, end of March. Earned me a pie to the face, which you guys shall see come July.
It earned you several pies to the face. Let's get very clear.
Are these all going to be on the podcast? The pies?
There will be videos. I don't know if they'll be Facebook Live or they'll be on our YouTube. They'll be on both at one point. Well, they'll at least be on the YouTube channel, but maybe we'll do it live on Facebook so that all our loyal fans can just see a pie. Although I think I have a pie in my face at this point, and I have to eat it too.
You have multiple pies in your face, not just
And
one.
I also have toothpaste.
Yeah.
Which is worse than any
Yeah.
pie. I can smash 100 pies in your face. I'd rather not eat toothpaste.
True.
I did that once because of Destiny. Destiny makes me do stupid things I'm learning.
That it does. So let's get some initial thoughts on the trailer. Justin, you can let Branden start. Branden will talk to you, and I will be right back, people.
Okay.
All right.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, I feel like it actually kind of shows maybe that Destiny's paying attention to what the fans think, because they obviously put Cade front and center, who's a fan favorite.
Mhm.
And I mean, it definitely gives you an idea of what we can sort of expect, obviously with the vault gone.
Mhm.
And there was a few little clues there. I happen to notice, but I don't know if it's just for the sake of the video, but like there was no ghosts. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's just a matter of editing. They didn't want to have all those little ghosts around all the characters or not, or if it's actually intentionally not there or not. But I thought it was a pretty good trailer.
Yeah, no, it was really cool because I also liked how, like you were saying with the vault and stuff, they explained like a couple things in the trailer, like just so you know, your stuff's gone. Like
Yeah.
they didn't have to even like they didn't have to waste time talking about it anymore. They can just be like, your stuff's gone. Remember in the video when it got blew up? Yeah, it's gone. So, and then, yeah, I really liked it was really cool. I like you said with Cade. I liked, and then like the trailer, the one that not the one that we showed before the podcast, but the other one where Cade's in the bar, that was cool too. It's like you said, they're listening. Like they know Cade is a fan favorite. They know that the actor, people like him, so they're pushing with him front and forward, but they're not getting rid of the other two vanguards because Akora was in it, but also Zavala had a big place in the second trailer. So I don't know. I'm just curious to see where it goes.
The most important person is the sweeper bot. You forgot the sweeper bot. I mean, that was probably the most fan favorite is the sweeper bot in that trailer. No, I thought it was. I mean, it was really good to see. It's definitely going to be kind of crazy to see where they go because I feel like the trailer was something that we haven't seen anything like it in Destiny 1 at all. Like what's going to happen. So I don't know. It's exciting to see. I'm excited to kill Gary.
Gary.
Or Gil.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like how I really like how it was this trailer. It was different than Destiny 1 than anything. Like it was more like what we saw once at Taken King came out and some of those cutscenes where it's a lot more lighthearted. There's a lot more character to the actual everything. So it's like it makes you think, okay, they learned that lesson from Destiny 1. We're not going to get another repeat of that because the one thing I know I've been seeing in comments on that trailer or anytime Destiny 2 is even mentioned is, oh, another incomplete game and blah, 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 and the story's going to suck. It's like, well, yeah, that was Destiny 1. You know, I didn't mind it. The story was definitely disjointed, but I don't think we're going to see that again in Destiny 2. And I think that the two trailers, the teaser and the real trailer, kind of proved that.
Yeah, I was a late bloomer to Destiny, and I think I found myself doing missions that were like from the expansions before I even finished the actual game, not realizing it because the story was a little bit all over the place. Yeah.
One story here, another story here. Taken King, Rise of Iron. You don't know which one is which.
Yeah. Well, another thing too is that once Taken King came out, they kind of restructured with like the question stuff, how everything works.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh yeah, so this doesn't really make as much sense as if we put this stuff from Dark Below here instead of here, and then
Right.
It was just really confusing. And like I didn't get into Destiny until right after House of Wolves came out that summer after, and then I met Steven.
Wait, why you gotta say it like that? Why you gotta say it like that, homie?
I said, and then I met Steven, the love of my life. Okay, that better?
That works. That works. Yeah, I wasn't a beta player, but I bought it day one because I didn't really know much about it. Like when I went into GameStop, the girl was like, "Yeah, Destiny is so cool because you get to sit in orbit and fly ships with your friends." And I was like, "Whoa, you get to fly with your friends? That's cool." And I really don't. That's sitting there loading is when you're flying with your friends. So.
You get to fly with your friends to the next planet.
Right.
What's
I'm
really
go ahead.
What's really weird is that I actually played, I don't remember if it was the alpha or the beta or maybe both on Xbox, and I just didn't get the game because it thought back then my wife didn't have an Xbox yet, and that's someone I play with a lot. And my friend Mark didn't have an Xbox either at that point. So I was like, what's the point of me getting this game to play alone? It didn't really seem like a game for people alone. It seemed like people that you need like 1, 2, 3 friends, 4 or 5, whatever friends to play and get the most out of it. So I was like, meh, I'll skip it. I think I got it on PlayStation because Mark ended up buying it for PlayStation. So he played that for maybe a month, and then I was just like, man, this is not fun anymore.
That's your first mistake.
Exactly.
Wait, playing Destiny or playing with Mark wasn't fun? Both, right?
It was fun with Mark, but it was just
on PS4.
yeah. PS4. Let's not do that. We're gonna get.
We'll have that discussion another day.
Tony's not here. It's okay.
True. We can be Xbox bias on this podcast until Tony comes in. So we have September 8th, 2017 is the release date, correct?
Yep, as I predicted.
As you predicted. Wait,
As that pie hit your face.
Didn't you say no? You had a pie saying it was going to be in October. It was going to be after September.
Okay,
Don't try to bullshit. Don't try to bullshit. No.
But then I said it would be a Friday, and I got that part right, and that's why you get a pie in the face.
Okay, but you did say it would be after September because you thought.
But that was like the first bet we made, and that was like I thought they're gonna like rearrange this whole entire thing. I bet, and then I was way wrong. I'm glad I'm wrong. I'm super happy I'm wrong. But
right, that is one thing to be happy on. Is
I can't lose. I either get a delicious pie in my face, or I get Destiny, and I get Destiny early here.
What kind of pies are these going to be exactly?
Concrete.
Like hardened concrete, or just like still wet concrete?
We're gonna put it there, and hopefully it gets to your face before it hardens. I guess.
Okay, that's
Mine are gonna be cotton balls, though. Yours are gonna be concrete.
Oh, all right, well, I thought we were doing whipped cream pies, but
Yeah,
guess
we
we're doing
are.
concrete and cotton balls. Okay, concrete and cotton balls. That should be the name of an album from somebody.
Concrete and cotton balls.
Either that or that's our rock band name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, done. So September. Brandon, are you taking off on September 8th?
Probably not, unfortunately.
You big dummy. Damn it, Justin. Now you know what? We're kicking Mark out, and I'm gonna play with you and Melissa.
Hey, Mark, when you listen to this, OJ Crew's dead. New crew for life.
Or if Melissa can't take off, then it'll be me and Mark.
No, screw this. Mark can go to work. Brandon, all you can go to work. Me and Gal will just play alone. Fuck it. We're dedicated enough.
OG MIDA multicast crew.
No.
Yeah, we'll wait. Well, I probably won't wait to play with you, but I'll wait until you're on to play.
We'll have the whole weekend to catch up.
True.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking that Friday off, though. There's literally, they could be like, you have to be at work. And I'd be like,
much doubt.
Exactly. I'd be like, you can just fire my ass. Melissa wouldn't like that, but nope.
I don't think anybody but you would like that.
I'd be like, well, hey, more time to play Destiny 2.
I'm becoming a streamer, Twitcher. I'm doing
That's my new screen name, Twitcher. Ooh, excuse me. Jesus.
that beer you're drinking, you gross ass. Damn.
All right, let's get back to Destiny 2.
Yeah, let's get back to Destiny 2. So some stuff leaked out recently. I think yesterday is when it came out that GameStop on their website posted some some new merchandise for Destiny 2 that had basically they had a Warlock Titan and a Hunter hat that looked like they had new symbols on there. To me, it looked like they were kind of getting ready to show you the sorting hat for which house you are in Harry Potter. You know, they had Gryffindor, Slytherin, and Ravenclaw there. But then today they have been taken down. If you go to that same website, GameStop comes up with a "oops, we fucked up" type thing, and you can't view those anymore. So, want to get you guys' thoughts on those things?
Let you start, Brandon.
Okay. I think they're pretty interesting. I don't know if I like the idea of hunters being associated with Slytherin, though. I'm wondering if maybe they're just kind of a new sort of class emblem type deal. Justin, you showed us earlier that there's a possibility of them being much more. I'll let you explain that, so don't take your thunder.
Yeah, like someone on Reddit had made a thing, I guess, I think it was a few days ago, that kind of said something about that we might have pets, or it might be something to do with new subclasses. So basically what I'm guessing, just hunch, is that those animals, I know one's like you said, a snake's for a hunter. It was like a weird, like kind of like lion-ish looking thing for the Titan, and then the warlocks were some like, it was like a parrot or some shit. I don't remember. It was some bird. Anyways,
You can't say 'em, bitch.
you can't say, motherfucker. Check yourself. But yeah, it was like, so I'm wondering if there's gonna be animal supers somehow, like, or some abilities where maybe like if you're a certain subclass, you have like an animal thing, or you.
Yeah.
The thing
It's
is,
called a Patronus. It's called a Patronus.
no, here's the other thing. There could be like no actual animals, but you could be like, you have like the powers like of
The heart of a
snake.
lion.
Right? Like you could like, you know, I don't know. It's the thing is that we do know, like, at least from that trailer and from everything we've been reading, is that there's some stuff with like the wilderness outside the last city. So wilderness animals kind of go hand in hand, you would assume. So I don't know. I'm guessing something happens. Maybe that's like how the game starts. I'm sure we'll find out on Thursday, because obviously with merch having that type of stuff on it, they're not going to just like skip over that. I don't think. I think
Right.
that's very deliberate, and I think that GameStop just put up early, like they did. They had some T-shirts I know they put up before the trailer went up. They
Yeah.
said Destiny 2 on them or something, but
Which is kind of weird because I work in the media-ish like PR business, and I feel like if somebody did that and messed up that bad, you'd be fired. So I feel like it was more on purpose, you know?
oh yeah,
Kind of put it up for
Yeah.
a day, and then we'll take it down, and then you have
Yeah,
to.
it was a leaked quote unquote.
Right. I feel like there are zero actual leaks in Hollywood or video games or movies or anything.
Yeah.
Everything is purposefully leaked nowadays. But yeah, I like the pet idea. I thought it would be pretty cool. You know, but I hope that they're not just pets that like just literally walk around with you. Like I hope they kind of have a purpose. So
right.
it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I have a fucking lion behind me.
Be pretty weird to walk around with a snake.
Right.
Yeah, is it on a leash?
Be like Jake the Snake Roberts, just have it like around your neck or some shit.
Yeah.
Just have it in a bag.
Right.
Snakes.
Right. Or you can have your Titan like riding the lion.
Yeah.
Just yeah. But anyway, pets are pretty cool. Or I don't know, it could be something with this, you know, this I think it might just be a symbol of the class, kind of like, because lions are strong and courageous, and that's what a Titan is, and phoenixes or birds or what people said some phoenix or whatever
It's
kind
like-
of bird.
It looks,
Well,
I mean,
you're
like
talking
an
about my
eagle
kid.
or phoenix or something.
Yeah, like an eagle. So what'd you say, Justin?
I said, why are you talking about my kid? My kid's not a warlock. He's gonna be a
Your kid
hunter.
will be a warlock. He learns after his mother.
Yeah, he probably should just go after his mother. His mother's way better than me at Destiny.
Definitely at most things, actually.
Okay, except jumping.
True. You
Yeah.
cannot jump. Melissa, thank you for listening. You can't jump. But yeah, so
'Cause you're white.
phoenixes. Yeah,
I was gonna say that's racist.
that's racist. Let me get my thought out. Phoenixes are smart and kind of cunning, and then snakes are just, you know, slimy and gross, and nobody likes them. So
Yeah.
that's why they're
Well,
hunters.
it could be more like hunters are kind of known as like stealthy and sneaky,
Yeah.
and that's a
Yeah.
snake. So if we're gonna be fair here,
Right.
warlocks, you know, they need to get they have wings so they fly away from the battles because of bitches.
Although the warlock symbol does look a little alien-ish
Yeah,
in the eyes, so I mean, it could be a little something more than it could be, because it's kind of weird if they use a alien as a symbol.
You're talking about the bird symbol?
Yeah.
it doesn't look just like a straight up bird. It looks something's different with it. Like it looks
Right.
almost like it's like some type of horn on its nose, and then like
Yeah.
like you said, the eyes were whoa. Let me knock the mic over. His eyes were. It looked like like the face looks different. It almost looks like, are we gonna have like Pokemon? Like, is this gonna like you don't have light anymore? You have to capture animals and battle them.
That'd be pretty cool. I'll be
Yeah.
down with that.
Me too. They're like Nintendo won't make it for the Switch, so
Right.
we'll make it for Xbox and PS4.
Right.
3D Pokemon.
Did it kind of look to you guys? It looked a little bit to me like either the symbol on like the Soros weapons, like some of the Soros rockets, I think had a symbol similar to that. Looks kind of like that, or maybe it could be.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Somewhat similar.
Phoenix-ish type symbol, and then
Mhm.
Do we even know what really an Ahamkara looks like? Like a live
like a-
one?
No.
Dragon-ish
Yeah. I
thing
mean,
with
it's
feathers.
described as a dragon almost ish.
Yeah. So I mean, I
Worm,
don't know.
almost worm-like, like the
Like the Never Ending Story guy, like
Well,
Falcor from Never Ending
no,
Story.
Something just popped in my head. So if you look at the cover art for Destiny 2, that Titan has that same lion logo on his chest. Now that I'm thinking about it.
yeah.
Like,
I believe the
really
warlock has the eagle too, but
Okay. And then I was noticing too, because my background is the hunter promo art for that. It's got like a leatherish, almost snakeskin looking thing on its arm.
Mhm.
like the arm, like the shoulder pads they almost have like a leatherish, almost snakeskin looking thing. So it's like a subtle hint. So I don't know what. Yeah, I do think there's something there. It could even be something like factions. Like it could just be like, oh, this is like the snake tribe, or like, nah, it's like the snake tribe, but they'll have actual names. But it's like we worship the snake, and we worship the lion, and we worship like, and maybe it's just something to do with like the actual like hunter clan likes snakes, and like, you know, it's like a one big group that you join or something. I don't know.
It's a subclass.
Yeah.
It's your. I can't even think
It was like I was trying to do it too in my head, and my brain exploded.
Yeah. One thing I did look, now that you mentioned the cover art, I'm looking now, and I had mentioned earlier today when we were talking about this was like the weapon foundries. Like maybe we're seeing some new ones when we start, or like some of the old ones won't be there. But then looking at this, like this guy has an Omelan, what looks like maybe a scout rifle. This guy's a Suros shotgun, and she has an Omelan hand cannon. So they're definitely still going to be there.
Yeah.
For Destiny 2.
I think they'll expand that. I think, you know, it's kind of like a, with just weapons in general, it's like a balance. You know, everyone's, you know, but I feel like you can't ever balance weapons. That's kind of one of the issues. So it's like, even if you bring it down to 10, there's still going to be the one that people use.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Oh, I mean, but I'm all for like just new looking stuff, because even when Destiny 1 has brought out new weapons and expansions, they've all looked kind of similar for the most part. There's been a few exceptions, obviously, but a lot of weapons have just looked, okay, it's a little skinned differently. It's got this little doohickey on it instead of this, and the sight looks a little different. And okay, so it's basically the same thing type thing.
Right.
Yeah, I'm definitely hoping we get a lot of different looking stuff. I know that the Tex Mechanica, I don't really know. I used to say Mechanica.
Yeah, Mechanica.
What did they say on the podcast that you listened to?
Yep.
So like the only weapons we have from that are the Last Word and the Chaperone, and those are like old Western style. And I feel like if we do go out in the woods and it's kind of like outpost out there, or like people out there, like that's the kind of stuff that they might have, just because it's like older type stuff, like not as new, futuristic looking. So I think we might get a lot more stuff from them. Maybe there's like a faction that's like a militia or something that's out there that we might get new weapons and armor from. So kind of hoping we can get some stuff from that.
Something that I had read that kind of pointed out to me was like these animals can somewhat be referenced back to like Egyptian history, which obviously you would think of Osiris. So I mean, it could be something that leads towards him, but since we know that one of the expansions is going to be focused around him.
The other thing I had read, someone had said in the comments on the Reddit post about this, was that all three of those animals, I guess, are part of the Chimera, like that mythological creature.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
All three. So they're saying like, oh, maybe like, so now like I take that and I go, well, maybe like there's a group called, you know, like the Chimera or something, and maybe what you have to do is form like a fire team of 3 different, and
with our powers combined, we are Captain Planet.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Like that's, you never know. I mean, something like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe this is like the new subclass system. Instead of Arc, Void, and Solar, it's, you know,
Lions, Tigers, and Bears. Am I?
Yeah, or something like that. And like you were saying kind of earlier, like how World of Warcraft does it, something like that, where maybe you have to put certain things in certain spots to kind of go down those trees. Yeah,
let's actually get into that. So what Justin's referencing is we were kind of talking about some changes of what they could do for different subclasses, you know, within the classes, and what we could do, because we don't have light now. At least from what people are saying is like there's no more light. And so basically what my prediction is that we're going to have something similar to World of Warcraft, where it's you're going to have a skill tree. And my thought was that it would be more not as space magic-y, but more of like a realistic type thing. I can't even think of something now that would be like for hunters, you could have like a scout quest line or something. And you know, you'd get perks for like range on your weapons and stability and like, you know, stealth mode, things like that. And then like Titans may get like, you know, they get an armor increase or a health increase because they're tankier, and just different things like that. That's where I think it could be going as far as the subclasses.
Go ahead, Justin. I'm trying to I got a thought going and I can't.
Hey, I looked like you were gonna say something, so I was just like, I'm gonna go. I can see something like that. I still think space magic will be involved. I just think what will happen though is absolutely we don't have light at the beginning. Maybe it's a thing where once we, because they say that we're going to do a journey across the solar system. That's what the description on GameStop says. So I'm guessing we'll obviously leave Earth at some point. I doubt we'll leave Earth before taking care of Gaul. I bet you he'll still be there when we leave, and we're leaving literally to get more help to take him down.
Yeah.
And so what I'm guessing is that once we do, or maybe we find a way to, release the traveler from the supposed force field that he's under, that, or he, she, it, whatever you want to call it. Don't want to go down that route.
Yeah.
That maybe then all of a sudden maybe it opens like a next, in your example, a next tier where, okay, now you can get some of your light revolved powers around. Like maybe beginning, yes, you can't have light because obviously, the thing they sent out for this thing to like streamers and stuff said a world without light. So you would assume if you don't have light, you don't have power. I mean, there is some things there, but yeah, I'm thinking I think eventually we'll get our light back is what I'm trying to say.
I think I had read that like when Destiny was kind of like originally thought up, it was actually more of a medieval, like kind of wizards and knights and stuff like that kind of intent. And I'm wondering if maybe they're trying to hark back to that a little bit, add that kind of influence back into it a little more.
Go back to the golden age that started it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, maybe now that they've got all this lore that's in the grimoires, maybe that they have that fleshed out a little bit, they can kind of express it.
Yeah, maybe they'll have it in game.
Yes, exactly.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I actually like your idea, Justin, where we start out with not so space magic-y stuff, and then as you progress in the story, you actually get more, and you can actually start getting more and more. And I think it would be pretty cool. So I'm also curious to see kind of where, if like, I think we'll have different subclasses for each class, and then each one you kind of may have to like pick one, because Bungie had said that basically they want you to pick one subclass and like focus on that, and that'll get you really strong. I'm pretty sure that's if you want to confirm with that.
Yeah, basically yeah, Crucible Radio, another podcast, shout out to them, they'll never hear this anyways. Crucible Radio, they had, I believe, the people that kind of like balance and create subclasses and stuff, and it wasn't recent. It may have even been almost like a year ago at this point, but it was a while ago, and they were kind of asked like, so for Destiny 2, would you do differently? And they kind of like, well, we're not confirming anything or even saying that this is what we'll end up doing, but we really thought that it'd be cool or better, or we wish there was a way that we could do subclasses, because in the lore, really, most of the characters in the lore only have one subclass. There's a few that have two, but most are one, and that's kind of the intent, I think, that they wanted people to do. So I think in Destiny 2, based on what they were kind of saying, is that they want you to be rewarded for sticking with one more so. So the only way you could do that, I feel like, is if you like kind of like what the system you were just explaining, because the system we have now, there's really no way you could be like, oh, if you use this, but
right.
Something like that, like, or maybe it could even be something kind of like how factions work, where like you get one a week and then you have to pay to switch it or type thing, and I don't know, maybe something like that, but they definitely want you to kind of stick to one. It kind of sounded like from what they were saying back then.
Yeah, it's possible they could have like something like skill points that similar to like Mass Effect, where you attribute to, you can put it to whatever you want it to, but if you want it to work more effectively, you have to kind of focus on one thing, which is one subclass.
That's what I was trying to explain earlier for people who aren't in our Facebook group. It's basically like, so
Everyone.
Yeah, everyone. Like you pick one skill tree. Like I played WoW a long time ago, but like if you wanted to be a frost mage and you wanted the best abilities for a frost mage, you just kept putting all your skill points in it and like all into the frost mage. But if there was like something in the arcane or the fire subclasses that we're calling, you basically could put points into it, but it would then decrease your points allowed in your frost, and you couldn't max it out. So I think that could be where they're going. I think that'd be pretty cool, actually, just because it does make those tough choices that you have to do. It's like, well, do I want this? Do I want Nova Bomb really for this my Warlock Club class, or do I want maybe like the Solar Grenade, but still be able to be Void or something, something like that. So I thought that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, and they kind of did that, like almost in a way, almost tested that a little bit with those artifacts. How they had the one artifact where it got rid of your super, but it gave you extra grenade and melee. Like maybe that was them kind of testing where it's like, let's see how many people actually use this, and see like how many people like would be willing to give up their, their max, their top ability for their
Right.
character in order to gain extra things on the back end. So
Right.
Yeah.
And I wonder, kind of going back to what you said earlier, Stephen, since we won't have light initially, at least from what we know, if maybe like some of the like abilities will be more tech based or skill based, not necessarily like magic or like there won't be a golden gun or something like that. It'll be more like taking down an enemy shield a little faster, or seeing through walls with your scopes and stuff like that.
Maybe one of the perks for Titans will be doing a straight jab instead of a right hook, and then they can have more range on there. But then again, if you take away the space magic, what's a warlock going to do? He's going to palm you in the face, like,
poke your nose, bitch.
right?
He's a ninja now.
Right?
Yeah. So see, in that same vein, it's like, would we have like frag grenades and like actual like grenades?
Right.
I don't, because the only thing that's weird about that whole entire thing is like you just kind of stated, Steven, was that like warlocks are like all about space magic.
Right.
I mean, and I feel like maybe you'd say Titans are probably like the least relying on space magic.
I would probably say hunters.
I know. I'm kind of like trying to think.
Yeah.
I guess you're right, because like the bubble and stuff, but yeah, and then the other thing to consider is that I guess from what people were saying was the last 3 subclasses that were added in Taken King, those aren't, I guess, based on light. It was because in those quest lines, you actually, it's like the the Titan Sunbreaker is based because you get the Hammer of Soul, and it literally
Right, you
gives
get
you
meow
power.
meow. You get a fiery meow meow.
Yes, fire, meow meow. And then like the Warlock gets actually struck by an Arc Storm, so stuff like that. So like maybe you'll start with those powers only. I don't know. I definitely think they're not going to keep it the way it is, though. I think if they would retool it completely,
Yeah,
if they're going to even let you have those classes still.
yeah. Like I mean, if we don't have light, but technically that would mean we can't recover or like revive ourselves, right? So I mean, I feel like a static charge throughout a warlock's body would probably kill it pretty quickly if it doesn't have light.
Right, dead. Like, go to throw a grenade and then you die because you just fucking took electricity out of your hand. Yeah, that'd be. I mean, that is also another thing too. Is like, if we're playing and I get downed, do you have to? Obviously, you'd have to come revive me. But it's like, do you have to be a medic? Like, are they actually going to have medics and healers in this game, as opposed to last game where it's basically just revive because of the ghosts? Or like, am I dead and I'm dead until everybody wipes and then it just it restarts? Not lore wise restarts, but you just restart the mission.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Anything, Justin? You look like you're reading, or you're.
It's gonna be one of those like I'm trying to think. I can't think of a game off the top of my head. It's gonna be one of those games where like you die and then you have to go back and pick up your stuff, like Dark Souls or something.
No, please,
you die
please,
and
no.
start over, and then you have to go back and get your stuff. And if you don't get your stuff, if you die before then, you just lose all your stuff.
You mean like Minecraft?
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, you're pretty famous for dying in Minecraft.
I don't know. It's just I think the thing that I'm most excited about with all of this is that everything we're saying is both possible and could totally be completely the opposite. Like we could literally, they could be like, there's no light, but you still have some in your ghost, and your ghost is dying, so you gotta hurry up and get the story done, and then you fine, and but you have light the whole time. But it's like, wait, what?
Yeah. Well, I mean, also they mentioned that I think it's been mentioned that we go to, like, part of the mission is going to Saturn, or I don't know if that's just speculation so far, or is that kind of confirmed about Saturn? Or
I think it's more speculation, but like Justin has mentioned a few times, it's like they say we're traveling across the solar system.
And
so
I mean, we know who's floating around near Saturn.
Uranus.
And I mean, that's a character who figured out how to cheat death all on his own without a ghost.
You want to tell people who you're talking about for some people who don't know?
Oryx, who we killed off in the Taken King.
Or thought we killed off.
True. It could have all been his idea.
if you want to go lore wise, his worm consumed him. That's why he died.
Yeah, technically. Yes.
Technically.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah.
so it's
Fucking
there's so
nerd.
many
That's what
ways,
counts.
directions this could go. Just because,
Yeah. I mean, it is kind of well. So with the main story that we know so far is the Cabal are coming. They're on Earth. They're attacking the tower in the last city. Like that's what we're at. It's the
Mhm.
the Cabal Red Legion is coming to us with their nasty dogs, Cabal dogs.
Yeah.
I wonder if those Cabal dogs are actually maybe like scions that like got transformed by something.
that'd be pretty interesting.
Hmm.
Because
'Cause
I
they-
mean, aren't scions technically slaves?
Yes.
So I mean, it's definitely possible they could have just
Yeah.
like done a little research, or not research, but experimentations on them.
Yeah, like I don't know. I feel like I feel like I'm envisioning a scion, and if a scion just got down on all fours and got pretty ugly, I feel like it would look like one of those dogs. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that's what it
Just
would
gave
look
him
like.
some steroids and said, "Get on your all fours.
Right,
You're a
Or maybe
dog
like-
now. Bark." Woof, woof, woof.
right. Like maybe the darkness has taken over some of the scions or something like that. You know? No,
Yeah.
that's
Right.
just a thought. But
Yeah, and then like, so here's the one thing that I've always been like, okay, how are they going to explain this though? Because they haven't explained this yet. Is that okay? So the vault on the tower, obviously, that's destroyed. But like, okay, what about the one in
the reef
in the
or
reef,
Iron Temple. Yeah.
in the Iron Temple? It's like, are they going to like show some story where like they destroyed the reef and they destroyed the Iron Temple or something like? Or are they going to maybe explain like, okay, well, actually, everything's technically on the tower. It just transfers from that tower vault
Right.
to the other ones through magic or something.
Yeah.
But could say that, and then that would shore that up. But
Yeah. Another thing too is they might be playing a trick on us, saying that none of our stuff. I mean, they said none of our stuff carries over, but some stuff may carry over in the sense that our ghost is dying, and so the ghost was the way that we got to the ships. So like maybe we can't actually get in ships in the beginning of the story. Like we're only stuck on Earth, and we can only get there by walking or riding a horse or riding. You know, we can't the ghost can't even summon our sparrow, really, if you think about it. So it's like we're either running everywhere, we're riding horses, we're riding lions, we're riding the birds are carrying us.
I don't
Yeah, you ride your snake, you stand on
surfing on it.
Yeah.
just lay on the snake. You're like, why aren't you doing anything? Go.
It's like one of those boards that like it's kind of like this, and you have to like go along. That's what the snake looks like. It's just
Hopefully, it's a giant snake or something like
That's what I
anaconda.
was gonna say. Yeah, hopefully it's like a
Yeah.
big one.
like a basilisk from the Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah, exactly.
you go.
God damn it! No more Slytherin references.
Yeah, but I think that I don't know. That's what I feel like the story's going to start off with. Is obviously towers got attacked. We got to fight our way. I'm hoping we got to fight our way down, or maybe to the last city, and that's where we maybe meet up with Cade or Zavala, and then maybe they have like press the left trigger to take this path, press the right trigger to take this path, and then you have to go to either one. I think it'd be pretty cool to have different options like that within the story.
Yeah, I like the. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Brandon.
Well, I was gonna say I like the idea of possibly, I mean, starting the game with the attack, and it's like, and then you realizing you're kind of losing this fight, and then you're losing your powers too, and then it's this whole desperation mode, and that's what kind of picks up the story. That's probably the most. Seems pretty exciting to me.
Yeah,
Because if you think about Destiny 1, kind of like how you're saying, it's like it's always been like, we just kick this guy's ass, or we just kick this thing's ass, or we just kick that thing's ass, or this thing's kick that. So it'd be really cool for like once to be like vulnerable,
to
a
get
little bit,
our ass kicked.
Yeah,
and then let's be like, just have it be like, okay, yeah, we're in deep shit. We need help. We can't do this on our own this time. So the other thing to keep in mind, and this is kind of a side tangent, is like the speaker is nowhere to be seen in any of these trailers either. Which is a very like, did he get killed? Is he captured? Was he behind all this maybe somehow, some way? Like, because I know New Monarchy for life, and that guy's a twisted motherfucker. So,
Well, not only just the speaker too is, I mean, like literally every not NPC that's in the tower. I mean, you've got the speaker, then you've got Executor Hideo, then you got Eric Jalal, old Eric, Lakshmi, and then Amanda Holiday, like all of those characters. Like what happened? I know that I believe in the trailer we see Shax.
yes.
I think people
In the
saw
background,
Shax being behind Zavala, I believe. So like we know he's there, and we know the sweeper bot made it out, obviously, because he's sweeping up with Cade.
Yeah.
But like we don't know where I can't even Rahul is at. Any of the other Eris. I feel like Eris is gonna play a big part in this.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And and I feel like that and the Queen.
Yeah, we know
We'll
she's
have a
alive.
like,
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, well, how do they have to play in this? Like,
Right.
where's it going? So
There's still all the oh man, I forgot his name now. Who's the fallen that's on the reef?
Varix.
Eric's.
Varix.
Yeah, that plays a big thing too. Where's the other
Yeah.
fallen houses?
Mhm.
I forget what. There's a bunch of fallen houses, but I feel like there's one house that
Kings,
like,
devils, wolves.
yeah, I think the king's house is the one.
Yeah, Kings is
that
one
we-
that we really haven't interacted with at all,
right.
except for maybe
So-
like one
A
mission.
little bit in the House of Wolves storyline, but otherwise mostly not really.
But then again, we could just be wanting them in there, and Bunch's like, "Fuck that, we're not going to put them in there at all." And you're just
Yeah.
all you get's the Grimoire. That's all you get, so you can speculate.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. Well, so it was the two DLCs were Osiris and kind of the Warmind.
Rasputin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most likely Rasputin, but yeah.
Well, I think is it Warmind or is it Rasputin?
I could have swore it was Warmind. Like,
I've
it was
heard
just
both. I've heard
yeah.
that the logo of it is technically the War Minds, but
Mhm.
although see what's really interesting about the two that they chose is that so you got Osiris logo and then War Mind or Rasputin, whatever you want to call it. Rasputin and Osiris are supposed to be like major characters in Destiny 1 before they did the whole entire reset and had the big
Right.
blow up and everything got redid. So it's kind of interesting. Like, are they trying to right those wrongs with this expansion and kind of like we're gonna tell these stories and make this make sense now type
Yeah,
thing?
so what happened is they took the documents that they had and then they shredded them in Destiny 1, and that's why we didn't have it. And now they're just trying to tape the pieces together, this story, which
Yeah.
is why it's DLC.
It took 3 years to do that.
Yep, it took
All
3
those
years to
pieces
put
together.
everything together.
Probably would.
Yeah,
I feel like after like an hour, you'd be like, "Fuck it, just rewrite it."
right. So what do you guys think we'll see on Thursday? What do you think, like scope wise? What do you think we're gonna see?
Honestly, I don't think we'll see much that is going to reveal. I would be too spoilery. I think we'll probably interact maybe with like a few of the characters we've already seen in trailers, like Cade and Ikora, Zavala. We'll maybe see some landscapes, but I don't think they'll kind of show off too much. I think a lot of it will be kind of displaying the overall interactions just with your character.
Justin.
I think we'll see a little more. I think what they're gonna probably do is kind of like how they did for Taken King, where they showed off the Phobos mission. They didn't show off the ending, they didn't show off like the very beginning, but they showed off like the middle. I think it'll be kind of something like that. It'll be like the attack has already started, and you're probably, I'm guessing, in the last city with Cade because they're gonna keep going with the Cade thing, I think. And what I think is that you'll be fighting alongside Cade and Ikora. Will be kind of part of the like, holy crap, there's NPCs that fight with you. Holy crap.
Yeah.
They're going to go for that kind of thing. And I think that's what we'll see is that you'll be fighting along with Cade in this. You'll be making quips. Cora will be, getting on his case like, oh, this is serious, or, kind of like giving her own quips back to him. And, they're kind of show like the character, like of the story and like, oh, look, see, like we listened, like, here you go. There'll be a few like set pieces, something exploding. And I think maybe what it'll end with is maybe like the Red Legion, the guys with those two big fire hatchets, like maybe one of those, come through a wall or something, and it'll just go to black, and then be like, okay, that's it. And then they've already said they're going to answer a bunch of questions, but I think they'll probably do that. I don't know if they'll do it before or after. Maybe they'll do both. I don't know.
Yeah. So I'm actually a little more optimistic than you guys. I actually think they're going to show a little bit more than what you guys are talking about. I think one big thing that people want, and I think that they want to probably show off if they've done it, is how open world it's going to be. So I think we'll see if it does start off with the attack on the tower, we'll see that. We'll then see us literally traveling all the way down to the last city and just how big the space is going to be and how open world it can be. And then we'll maybe meet, Cade or Zavala or whatever. But I think that we'll also get to see Hawthorne, who is a character who's the bag is from that was in the $250 edition.
Yep.
So I think we might see him like just initially, like we might not know it's him, but he'll like come out of the woods or something, and he's got a fucking like a mechanica like not a warlock, a rocket launcher.
He's
So,
built
yeah,
a sex doll and a warlock.
Oh, the warlock.
but I think we'll see a little bit more than what you guys are thinking as far as just the open world, because I think that's going to be, they want to see, they'll want to show off their new power, like the new not powers, but the actual power of the game itself. Like we've ditched last gen, so this is what we can actually do. I think
Also, I don't 100% remember, but I think Hawthorne's a girl. I think it's a woman.
whatever.
How much do we know about him besides the bag or her?
Not much. There was like the bag, and then like I don't know if it was Amazon or GameStop on that edition. Basically, like had a description like Hawthorne. This lives in the woods and this that, and lives off the land and kind of thing. And so that's where I also kind of think going back to the animals thing, like where it's like, okay, you don't need the light to do what you want to do, what you're trying to do. You just need this, and then whatever.
Yeah.
So I could see that. I honestly, my whole thing is I've been thinking that instead of there being like, go this way or go this way for this path, I think what will literally happen is Tower will be attacked. You'll go with Caden, Akora, Zaval will be like, meet me here type thing. And then you'll fight through, the last city to get to where Zaval is at, basically. Like maybe Zaval's is, because the thing is, you got to remember is like, if you look at the people surrounding those two scenes, with Cade, it seems like it's definitely more like us, like Guardians.
Yeah.
Whereas Zavala, it's like
An
everyone
army.
else. I mean, there's still Guardians there, but they're not as heavily armed, it looks like, with
Yeah.
Zavala. So Zavala's evacuating the city, and Cade and Akora and their team is trying to like get them out safely, kind of thing. Like we'll distract them over here, you get them out type thing.
That kind of seems like opposite. I feel like Zavala would be the one like,
Right.
I'm going in to kill everybody, and you guys can get these people out.
Especially because Shaq's with him, and Shaq's always wants to fight. So
Right. Yeah.
you
I mean,
think
it's like,
Shaq's? But yeah. So I could see what you're saying. Like they just want to show the grand scope, and like they literally go all the way through. But I don't know. All I can say is I am like ridiculously hyped to see whatever it is. Like I'm literally so hyped right now.
I'm trying.
Like I can only get so erect.
Yeah, the reason I think that they're going to show as much like broad open world as I believe they will is because there's going to be so much more for the rest of the game. Like I feel like there's going to be so much more original content this time than there was in Destiny 1.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get a lot more. Like it'll seem like they're showing off a lot, but it's actually not that much in the grand scheme of the game itself. So
Hopefully.
because in theory, they've really been building this game since they've already built Destiny, kind of, because I feel like they're going to be using some of the stuff they already had. So it's kind of like just building off of it.
Right. Plus, Rise of Iron only existed because they delayed Destiny 2. So
Yeah.
they added a whole nother year of development time onto it. And I'm guessing right now they're just, they're polishing. They probably have, what the game is pretty much done. They're just polishing some things up. I'm sure they'll take some feedback from this event. And I don't see the beta being later than E3 week. I think because they want to get that thing out. Like it may not be before E3, like our bet describes, Steven, but I think it'll be within like before July 1st. It'll already have happened. I think they want to get that. I think they literally want to use it as a real beta. I don't think it's a demo or something just to draw up PR. I think it's them literally like, we want to make sure we have everything perfect, because I know when we got up early that one day to play Rise of Iron and we sat in the freaking
Worst
queue for an
idea
hour,
ever.
like literally that was infuriating. So, and I think they know that people were like, all right, what the, everyone got over it super quickly. Like by the end of the day, most people were over it, but they don't want that to happen again. They don't want to. They don't want to be known as. Because look at a game like Mass Effect. It launched. People were bitching about how the mouths looked and some of the other technical stuff. And now that game has been shelved. Like that series has been iced. They're not making another Mass Effect for a long time. They've said
Andromeda is actually a really good game.
Right, and that's the shame of it. It's a good game, but the thing is, Destiny is a good game. But Destiny, when it launched, the original Destiny, when it launched, was a good game. But people were just like, the story doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. And they've built and changed. But some people just once they get that first impression, they don't care anymore. So I think that they're going to use that beta and they're going to use this event to get a lot of feedback, so they have enough time, in the 2 months after when I'm speculating it's going to be, to really dial in the servers and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think this event next week is a lot bigger than some people may think it is. Like for them to invite the most popular streamers and Twitch people and and players from the Destiny community, to invite them to Los Angeles, which is Hollywood, big popular, invite them all the way out there to host a special event for a game that isn't coming out for 4 months. Like, that shows real confidence in Bungie to be like, we think that this is so good now, we're going to show you, like, we're going to let you play it. And they're even going to let them like take screenshots and take captures and take videos and things like that. So that shows pretty big confidence that they think they have the product ready to go.
Where do you think the live stream will start, like, game wise? Do you think it'll be after the tower has fallen, or
I think we'll get a different, we'll start off with a video that's not the one we saw. It might be maybe the first cutscene or something like that, and then I think it will start off in either the tower and then a tower being attacked, or like the tower has been attacked, and then I think that's where it will start.
I think it'll start. I don't think they'll show off the very beginning kind of cutscenes, stuff like that. I think what they'll actually, they're not just going to go right into it, because it is like a live event. Like, they actually like booked like a conference place. Like you were saying, like, that's pretty ballsy to be like, not even ballsy, it's like confidence. And that's why I'm actually even more excited, because if they're that confident about it, then it must be pretty damn good, because not many games are just like, yeah, we're pretty confident here. We invited this, you can play it, you can capture, you can do this. But getting back to the point, I think it'll start, like, you'll already be in the last city. The tower has already probably been attacked and destroyed. I think it'll be like a little bit already into where you're actually will start on, September 8th. I think it'll be a little bit further in, and I think when it ends, it's going to end like on a cliffhanger where you don't know what's going to happen next till you actually play it. I think they're just going to kind of cut the end in the very beginning, and you'll get the meat in the middle.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you, Justin. I think it'll be probably after the tower has fallen and you're kind of down in the last city, maybe like fighting off or fending off some of the cabal, and then it'll, like I said, like you said, it'll probably end with something, some type of new character, new villain.
What if it ends? What if it ends with Gary literally like stepping off the cabal ship that lands wherever on Earth, and like the door opens and you just see Gary taking a step off?
It's entirely possible.
Yep.
I actually fully expect him to be at the tower, to be honest, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, because like even in the trailer, even though they've kind of broken through, it kind of seemed like the Guardians are still pretty handling them somewhat decently. I mean, so I feel like maybe Gaul shows up and just fucks shit up.
That'd be pretty cool. It'd be kind of cool to see him like come in and maybe kill off a non-playable character, like in the beginning.
Yeah,
that's what I think will be cut.
Okay, so like
I think that there's going to be someone that dies.
He kills Shax, or he kills Zavala, type thing.
That could be something too. That the ending is literally like Zavala gets killed or Korra gets killed. I don't think that Bungie is dumb enough to kill Cade, because Cade, I'd say if you were to rank the characters as far as popularity, Cade's the most popular. So while killing him would definitely be a moment where you're like, no, like where you'd be like, Gary's gonna die type thing.
Yeah,
I think it almost backfired a little bit, because people be like, that was my favorite character, now he's gone. Now who's my favorite character?
I mean, unless they're confident in some of the new characters being shown, like Hawthorne, for example, becoming a new fan favorite or something like that.
Or the Stranger comes back.
Oh yeah. I forgot about her.
Yeah, that's the other thing with Destiny 2 that I really hope they do, is that as messed up as some of the storylines in Destiny 1 were, I hope that they at least find a way to tie them off and end them.
Yeah.
Like if not continue them, at least end them so that they're done. Because the Stranger was that was like honestly the worst part of that story, I think.
But it could have been the best. Like, it could have been the best part of the story.
Yeah, because like she's on the moon watching you, and you're like, "Why are you watching me?" And then she's like, "Meet me on Venus." And you meet her on Venus, and she's like, "I don't even have time to explain." Well, I don't have time to explain, and you're like, "That's a cheap cop out." And then she starts talking to someone through her communicator, and then she's gone. It's like,
and
what?
then you see her at the end of the story, the end of the vanilla story.
And then
Right,
they
in the
like
tower.
tease their return with a weapon saying soon, but nothing ever comes of that.
Right.
Right. So they need to do something with the strangers, basically. If they don't, then that's gonna be like, all right, well, what the hell is that? Like, even if you just find her dead, like,
True.
dead.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully it's all part of their plan, their 10-year plan, and hopefully it kind of influences that Vex are still maybe the end all like villains. Obviously the stranger thinks so. But we'll have to wait and see, I guess.
So you're saying in year 10, the very end of whatever Destiny 5, literally she goes, "All right, now I have time to explain," and it cuts to a black screen. Literally, that's it. That's just it. That's the end of
Plano
Destiny.
dust.
Right.
So here's the other question I have about Destiny 2 for you guys. Like, do you think there'll be a Destiny 3, or do you think there's only a Destiny 2 because they had to fix things, get a new engine, stuff like that from Destiny 1? Because the way it was almost like pitched before was that like Destiny is going to be a 10-year thing. They didn't really ever, they were vague about it, so it left it open for sequels. But do you think there'll be a Destiny 3?
I think it depends on. I mean, obviously, it's hard to say because we don't know how much is going to change in Destiny 2.
True.
But I think it depends on how much they plan to change after Destiny 2. Like, I mean, is it something that they'll be able to fix with patches or DLCs, or is it something that they like with what they're doing now with Destiny 2, where they want to kind of change the game fundamentally in different ways? Then I think they'll have to do a 3.
I think there will be a 3, and the reason I think that is because depending on where the story goes in this, and like basically where we end with Gaul, is like, where's the story going to go? Like, we obviously have the expansions coming out, but if they're not going to do a Destiny 3, then they will need to have expansions bigger than what we've seen DLC wise. Like, they'll have to be like World of Warcraft expansions, where it like literally changes almost everything that you do.
Right.
So I feel like there will have to be something really big and basically an entire new story that is kind of like a Destiny 2B.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So I feel like
Taken King.
yeah, but I feel like it needs to be even bigger than Taken King, like way bigger than Taken King.
Right.
If, if they're going to try and keep it.
That's the other thing too, is I really hope that Destiny 2, like Destiny 1, even the vanilla story wasn't like super short by any means, but you could probably get through it in a day. So I'm really hoping that the Destiny 2, like the actual core story missions and everything, is kind of like, I'm hoping it's at least like, I don't know, 20, 30 hours. Like, is that crazy to think?
No, I mean, if there's maybe a little more intent to be open world, then I would say that seems pretty decent to me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you see games like Mass Effect, like there's people there, you can put like hundreds of hours in that game. I mean, granted, I put in hundreds of, I think of like 700, 800 hours in Destiny. So, I mean, but the thing is, a lot of that's just
noob.
like at like 900. He played like 6 months more than me.
True.
But I feel like I don't know, like I've done, like I said, I got that many hours in Destiny 1, but I feel like a lot of that is just repeating stuff. So it's kind of like, that's the other thing too, is like, I'm like, there's so much stuff that really is going to be so different. Like, how our patrol is going to be different. Our strikes going to still be a thing. How are those going to be different? Raids, like how are raids going to be different? Because raids, in my opinion, is like the best part of Destiny. It's like, it's like, especially there's no better feeling in Destiny than going to a raid blind, which again, excited for that, is going to a raid blind and just being like, figuring it out, just playing this giant puzzle piece or puzzle game with guns and your friends and just trying to figure it out and staying up till 3 a.m. because
3:30 in the morning and finally beating Oryx because your warlock can actually jump me. Although we tried for like 3 hours, so it was like muscle memory at that point, getting the jumps down. So
right.
Yeah, no,
so, but that's what I'm saying. Is like all this stuff is going to be at least new, but it'll probably also be different. And I'm just like, okay, so how is it going to be different? Like, what are they going to change? And like Thursday, I think people are hyped, but I don't think people have really fully even grasped how much we could probably, the world, like Destiny 2 is going to be. Like, it's going to be a major overhaul. It's a whole new engine. So it's like,
Yeah, I mean that's basically what I was kind of saying earlier. Is this game is gonna be so. I feel like we obviously don't know. I feel like this game is gonna be so big and have so much stuff because they've, like you said, they had an entire extra year to work on it, and so they don't have Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3 lagging them behind this time. And I mean, like if you think about a game like Grand Theft Auto 5 and how open world and stuff that was, and it was made for PS3 and Xbox 360, like think of what they could do with this power. I haven't played Mass Effect, but Mass Effect might be, just as big type thing. And we've got Scorpio coming out.
yeah, and PS4 Pro's already out.
And PS4 Pro's already out, but Xbox for life. So you've got like that much extra power. And it's like, what extra stuff can they put in here? So I'm excited.
Yeah.
So Justin, just for confirmation, you have 756 hours of playtime according to Wasted on Destiny. Brandon, let me look up yours right now. Yours is
I
obviously
think we're getting pretty close to my 1 year mark, actually.
I think so. So you have played 393 hours,
Yeah.
which is pretty good. I have 1,906 hours played on Destiny.
Good God.
Jesus. So I have about double and a half of what Justin has.
You better. Jeez, I hope your wife doesn't hear this. She's like, you wasted how much time?
That's very true. So I have played, according to this website, I've played a total of 9 weeks, 1 day, 20 hours, 3 minutes, and 16 seconds.
Good God.
So I've basically played for 2.5 months straight of Destiny.
Jesus.
That's a lot. But it's over a 3-year span, roughly.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's over a 3-year span, so it's like, but I don't know. It's just like it's just one of those games where I didn't expect it to be such a thing where it's like it hooked me, but it just did, and it's just such a. Sure. It's definitely one of those games though that I will say that if you're a solo player, it doesn't hook you usually, or at least it didn't hook me as good as it did once I played with my wife and Mark, because once we started playing, then all of a sudden it was like, okay, this is our new game, and then it just expanded from there once we met you guys on 100.io, and then it's branched even further, and now our families are combining. It's just the whole thing.
That it is. It is kind of crazy to think. Basically, if we didn't have Destiny, we wouldn't have SPR podcast.
Yeah, so
we wouldn't have family vacations together. Right, basically.
Right. I wouldn't know Branden, my favorite person in the whole wide world. Yeah. Or Tony, my second favorite person in the whole wide world.
Well, fuck you, okay?
We're going to make sure Tony hears this.
True.
I should say Tony's my favorite. He's going to say it's racist in a second.
True.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, there's just so, like, my brain can't even comprehend it. Like, it's a week away. Like, less than a week from now, we will know a lot of stuff. I'm really wondering how much they're going to answer, because they claim, Deej keeps saying, we're going to answer all your questions, but I don't, there's so many questions. Yeah. And then this event's going to give you even more. So,
right. Well, their answers too could be like, well, let me answer by telling you we're working on it. So, like, plus the other thing too is not only are we getting like the live stream that we get to watch, but all of the content that people get to record and stuff and like put on Reddit, a few days later after Bundy's like
analyze and
right, exactly. You can analyze, you can pause frame by frame, you can look at different things like that. So I feel like that's going to be so much content, and I'm not going to get as much work done that next week as possible. I'll be combing through Reddit on everything. So, have you guys heard of the number of people that they invited?
I have not.
No, but like I said, I know they booked like a conference,
right?
Center. Like kind of basically, like if you want to put it in perspective, they're doing like almost like an E3 conference for themselves.
Yeah, that's basically.
Actually, they booked a conference center. They have a bunch of people coming in. They have a area side where they're gonna have PC and PS4 version of the game set up so people can capture and do whatever they need to do. So it's like, this is like a major thing. Like you said, it's kind of cool to see them this confident. It's like, I hope that it's not like, I hope it's real confidence and they're just not a little too overconfident. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, this kind of sucks. But I doubt that's going to be the case. I don't honestly. They could be like, this game's not that good, and I'd still buy day one and play it all weekend.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's already pre-ordered, so
Yeah. Now, question: do you think since they're kind of putting so much on the line on Thursday, do you think they won't have much of a presence at E3 because they probably won't have as much to show or they won't want to?
I think E3 will be them going on Sony stage and being like, "Here's the exclusive stuff for Destiny 2," and then that'll probably be it.
Yeah, they might not even go on stage. I feel like we'll get a video. We'll either get the same video we've already seen, or we'll get whatever new video we see at the stream, and then they'll be like, "You get this stuff as a PlayStation exclusive," and then they'll kind of move on. Like, I feel like because they're doing their own big event now, they're kind of won't have as much of a presence at E3.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like Battlefront 2 will have a bigger thing there, and then Spider-Man, and what was the other one that PlayStation?
That zombie game, I forget what it's called.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember now.
Whatever game it is.
So they're going on for Sony.
Yeah, they always go on for.
They also have a booth. Actually, for the first time in a while, Activision has booths on the actual floor at E3, not actually with the conferences or whatever, and they'll have something there. My guess is that it's either going to be what they're showing on this stream, and they're just going to let the public play it, or they might just debut the Crucible stuff at E3. I can also see that because let's be honest, they're not going to show. I don't think they're going to show Crucible on Thursday. I think they're literally going to show you. Here's the story mission. Here's the new stuff that you can see. They're going to show you. Look at this new ability. Look at this new way this works. Look at this new thing. And then over the summer, they're going to be like, okay, so here's how storage works, and here's how this works, and here's how that works, and they're just going to kind of wheel it out slowly to you over the drip feed it to you over the summer. And so I think E3 will probably be when because that's what I believe that's what they did with Taken King is they showed off Zone Control and Rift with at E3.
They let the players play it
a
little bit. So all right, well, we got a week, guys.
I know.
Just a week.
Exciting.
So
it is definitely exciting.
And we will be back in a week, right?
Fingers crossed for more cutscenes.
Yeah, more Cade and Gary. Yeah, definitely. I think a week. Yeah, I will be on vacation, but I think I can manage to slip away.
And I will be sick, so.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. So we got May 18th, 1 p.m. Eastern time, 10 p.m. Pacific time. So yeah, let's do it, guys. I'm excited. Any last thoughts?
Definitely.
It just is that.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I just stroked out. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Stroked out. My body can't handle it. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
like I said, it's like I don't know if I can't commit to saying Destiny is my favorite game of all time, but it's definitely up there. And now it's getting a sequel, and the sequel should be them learning from everything that people didn't like about the first one. So it should only be better, you would assume. And like you said, not being held back by last gen, and with Scorpio coming out as an Xbox player, I'm super excited.
Yeah, definitely excited. I don't know. The amount of hours you've played in Destiny, I feel like show that that's your favorite game. I feel like you don't have another game. I definitely don't have another game that has that many hours. I mean, maybe Madden, maybe the career of Madden.
Yeah, I don't even know if that. Like Call of Duty Black Ops back in the day, the first one. I know I played Halo 3 a ton, but I doubt it's that many hours. It's even what I put it to Destiny.
Right.
It's the weirdest thing.
The only game I can think of I may have invested this many hours in is Gears.
That's
3.
true. That's true. I mean, probably the Gears franchise.
Yeah.
Gears 1 and 2 for me definitely played a lot. I mean, I'm pretty sure I played Gears 2 when it came out for like 40 hours straight. That was a bad idea because then I had to work the shift after that. All right. Well, we will be back. Well, we'll be back on Sunday for the regular Savers Radio podcast. We'll be back with Romo Black. We'll be back with us on Mother's Day. So, and then I think, Justin, we may have a special other MIDA Multicast special edition kind of after the reveal.
Yeah, we'll probably do like a quick reaction thing. Then we'll probably do a more in-depth thing maybe the week after.
Yeah. Well, we thought this would be quick, and it's over now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And hey, when we got good conversation, we just keep it going.
Yep.
going.
Well, I won't go through the whole spiel, but Podbean, iTunes, YouTube, check us out, follow us, like, subscribe.
Anything you think of, just search for us.
Yeah,
We're
sure.
there.
First radio. Same person. Hashtag same person. There we go. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
Adios.
Bye.